Computer. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Monday night team call. My name is Lindsay Kramer, and I am your host tonight. For those of you who do not know me, I'll just introduce myself a little bit. So I started Isagenix a little over 4 years ago, and I honestly I usually always say like Isagenix found me. Like I wasn't even looking for anything, nothing. I wasn't looking to lose weight. I wasn't looking for income opportunity, nothing. And so, just like most of us on Facebook, scroll and saw a post and was like, where's she at? It says Mechanic to Millionaire in the background. It was Brisna. And so I Googled Mechanic to Millionaire, and Dave MacArthur's story came up. So I started watching that, and I was like, ooh, who are all these happy people? Like, I really like happy people. And so just really researched the mess out of it for like 3 weeks, because I found out what it was. So, we don't post Isagenix. And so I reached out to her, and I was like, I want it all. I want the business. I want the products. I want it all. And she was brand new at this time too. So she was like, oh okay. So, like we're all coached to do, she got me on a three-way call. She did not tell me she was putting me on a three-way call. She could see my enthusiasm. And so she literally says, like, I'm just going to send you Isa movie, and you can look at all the movies instead of just one movie or one video. And so I did, and I got on the call with Casey, and Casey was like, shared her story. I mean, it's still, I could be Casey. I could literally emulate everything she says because I've heard her so many times, but isn't that how we learn, right? So I ordered the products, and I was CrossFitting at that time, so she's like, you need IsaPro, and I'm like, Isa what? Okay. And so 45 pounds of who knows what arrived on my doorstep. And the classic story, I mean, I didn't have any weight to lose, but brain fog for days and days and days. Energy was low, stressed out mom. And so I put the products in my body, and it was literally like the 4-day, like, see this rainbow behind me? Like, that was the rainbow inside of me. I was like, thank Jesus gods. What, like what? And so, but very reserved for the business, very, very reserved. Like, it took me probably 30 days to make a post. And Amanda was very good with me. Casey was very good. They just, let me do my thing, because I had a lot of self-worth stuff to get through, and I never realized that. And so, as most of you know, like, when we start with this journey, like, it just develops into so much more, because self-discovery, when you want to show up and start serving at a greater capacity in the world, and you feel it, like, you literally can feel the pull. And so, I didn't realize that it was even like a self-worth thing. But, like I said, like, I've been on the products 4.5 years, and I started building the business. And as we all know, our fearless leader, like, she's like personal development queen. And so, and that was like the most exciting thing to me ever, because I just love to like know why we do things and why we are the way we are. And, the things that serve us and don't serve us, and why we were imprinted this way and that way. And so this health ambassador thing came up, and, of course, like, 4.5 years, you've built a team, like, you need to do this, right? And so I've never, like, okay, this is my story. This is like a meme, like a thing I say I'm not good at. I like public speaking, like, and those who know me really well, like, they know, like, it scares the mess out of me. Like, I mean, I just was outside grounding. Like I talked to myself, like I'm doing power pose, like stances over here, push-ups, like anything to change my state because it scares me. But I feel really good speaking right now, and that's never happened. So, but anyways, after I graduated high school, I went and worked for, oh, wait, I'm going to back up. So health ambassador. So yeah, so I was like, okay, I need to do this. You deserve to do this. And I would always like watch, we have a lot of teachers on the team, right? And so I would always watch them, and I'm like, they just speak so easily. Like it literally just flows out of their mouth. It's so annoying because I cannot do that. But then I'm like, you dumb ass, like that's what they do for a living. They speak all day long, and that's like not anything I do. I don't speak all day long, nor have I ever. But what I was going to piggyback to is like, I remember after I graduated high school, I went and worked on a horse farm for like 5 years. And this wasn't like a horse farm. Like this was like, $50,000 to $300,000 horses traveling around the country. Like I grew up in Michigan, and we would travel to Scottsdale, Arizona, like drive the horses. And I was 18, and I was driving like millions of dollars, not millions, but a lot of money in horses. I don't know how they trusted me, but anyways, across the country. And I remember thinking like the clients that owned these horses, they just spoke so well, and just like the things they would talk about. And I'm like, I literally would sit there like brushing the horse and grooming them, and like I'm just never going to be able to speak like that. Like I don't like politics. I don't talk. It doesn't interest me at all. And just stuff they were talking about. And so we developed that persona. Like, I mean, think about like 5 years of me doing this and self-talk, telling myself like, and so I would always be quiet. Like I was always so quiet. And that just became my thing. Like in college, I was super quiet. And those that know me, like, you're like so lying right now because you're not quiet. We wish you would be quiet sometimes. But I would like, I mean, I went to the police academy after that. And like, of course there was like all guys. And so just very, very quiet, but I'm such an observer. And I think that's what, like, but now reflecting into this business and like, self-discovery and stuff like that, like, I think that's a huge strength of mine because I'm a very good listener. Like I want to know about you. I want to know about your cousins and your dogs and your brother and your kids. Like I truly want to know. So I think that is one of my strengths, but like as we get on and host calls like this and things like these stories that we create. And so, and it's just a meme. It's literally a meme, and we do it all the time. And we create, I mean, people say, oh, I can't fly, or I can't eat this type of food, or I can't, like, no, it's just a story you've created. And literally we're in the now all the time. Like all the time. Now. It's just one decision. Like it's just one decision to say, no, that's not my story anymore. I choose to, overcome it because it's going to take practice. It's going to take practice with me. Like I don't enjoy speaking per se to a large group of people, but over time we get better and better at it. So, anyways, so that's just a little bit about me, and some of you probably haven't heard. I know most of you haven't even heard that story, but it's like, you start thinking of things and you're like, that's why I do that. That's why I, because I created this story 20 years ago and it's still stuck with me. So anyways, so a group of us just got back from ICU, and if you're new on this call, welcome. Like we've heard, and it's like events change things. And so I haven't been to an event since, like a true event, since August of 2017. And there's a reason for that, because, like, I went into like me, like I was me mode for a long time. Like I can't serve unless I'm serving myself first. Like it's not happening. So I knew I needed to do the work, and I did. So you see pictures like of me. I was at retreats, like Casey holds retreats. That's her thing. She's super good at it. So I went to retreats, and in turn, I've done a lot of work on myself, and I know a lot of things. And I deserve to show up for people and teach them what I know, because anything we learn, if we don't teach it, like it's just, you're not, like that's not, I deserve to serve. I deserve to help people, because we have the vehicle. I mean, these products are freaking amazing, but it's the mind. It's mastering that damn mind and that monkey talk and that lizard shit and all that stuff that goes on in our heads. Like that deserves, because that's everything. That's why we do anything. So anyways, I have not went to an event since 2017. Well, I showed up at Celebration for like 30 seconds because whatever, my kid's first day of school. But I felt it. Like I felt it. Like I was ready. Like I was ready to go sit down in that seat and, hear what these lizard shit growth you. Totally. And so I did. So, and there was a group of us there, and it was an amazing, amazing event. I love ICU. The smaller events, it's like Celebration, but way smaller and more intimate. And so I'm just going to, like, I literally took pictures off my phone and put them into a slideshow. So this in typos, like it's, if you don't know me, like it's probably just going to be a thing, like spelling, like whatever, just. So we went to this event, and CUIA and ICU, totally. All right, so share screen here. So, all right, I'm going to, let's see. I can see Stephanie Robinson. Can you see my screen? Okay, awesome. Okay, so Monday night call. So I'm just going to go through and give some takeaways and some shares, and then I'm going to let other people speak and kind of give them, or have them give their takeaways. Let me get this smaller here so it's not taking up my whole screen. All right. Play. Okay. Monday night call. Me, Lindsay Kramer. All right. Oh no, why can't I go next? That's weird. Hold on.
You can go back to where it was. If not play, and then just click the slide and we can still see it.
Now it's not even like, I can't even hit escape now. Oh, your screen sharing is paused. Oh, Lord. Okay, now it's working. Okay. No. Why is it doing that? Oh. All right, well, I'm just going to use the mouse. Okay. You guys, Casey, you see this?
I see this. Welcome to Monday Night Call.
No bueno.
I would stop share and then reshare.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so like we can see that, so you can just click on the next slide instead of like playing the whole thing,
Okay, yeah.
Support issues, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so they talked about they kind of, I don't know if they opened it up with this, but anyways, they talked about the gig economy, and I thought that was like $3.7 trillion were paid to the gig economy in 2018 globally. Like that's massive. And just the way the economy's, going, for sure. 50% of the U.S. is, estimated to go to the gig economy in 2020. And we see it. I mean, we see it, retail shops closing, all that stuff. So I thought that like $3.7 trillion, like that's a really big number. And then Emily came on, and I wish I would have videoed this one, but because I did video one of her segments, but she really like honed in on the why, like hard, and she delivered it in a different way than I have seen before. But when people lose their way, they lose their why. And, you know, like if you've been in here, like we just know, like that's got to be at the forefront of us all the time. And she really spoke on like, you know, like people are going to have excuses and, you know, lead a mediocre life. Like it's easier to do, to be mediocre. So just kind of a quote that she threw up there. Just saying like you're going to get slapped around in this business for sure. And if you don't have like your why at the forefront of you, it's going to take you down like hard and fast. And really like the importance of getting quiet. So she like was saying how, you know, like every day, like that's, you know, that has to come first because people are addicted to being busy. Like that is totally an addiction. And I see it all the time being a mom and like these people running their kids all around Hell's Half Acre. Like you've got to like stop and go inwards because that's where creation happens. Like if we're not quiet, we're just running this rat race. So like even if it's just starts, the timer or the app Insight Timer is an awesome app, guided meditations. You can select your time, like just start somewhere, but getting quiet is so important. And she said these questions and I was like, oh my gosh, these are really good. Like, so when finding your why, like what makes your heart break and what makes you cry? And like, you know, like Melina and I were talking, you know, a little bit after, and she was like, my kids make me cry. And like, and I was like, yeah, exactly. And so like, that's, you know, like one of your whys. And like, what breaks your heart? What breaks, you know, like my heart was like, you know, like seeing kids, like, like they're just, people don't, especially down here, like I am in Alabama, like we are like the epitome of 10 years behind. And like, people just don't know, like my sister was like, they literally gave my kid Kool-Aid, like, in like juice boxes, like stuff like that. Like, that's just like, that breaks my heart. I see kids at lunch with like Coca-Colas and stuff like that. And like, I'm like, oh my God, dude, like you just don't, you not know, or you're not on the internet. Like, I don't know, but that breaks my heart because that's just, it's horrible for the kids. So, and then as you start to build your team, you figure out, you know, what their why is, because once again, they're going to get taken down. It's got to be there. And then social media. So social media was a big segment, and just saying how like it's free, like it's a free storefront. Like literally, you have no overhead, nothing. Like it's in, you know, you have to keep your audience engaged. And I think I wrote some notes. Oh no. So, you know, your lights on. We've heard that. Keep your lights on. And then they kind of go into, somebody is not muted. I think is it Marie Knight? And maybe if you join late, hun, you mute your line. Ooh. Maybe she got it. Okay, that's fine.
Did I get it?
No, I'm gonna mute you.
Okay, well, I couldn't hear.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I think I cut you off, but we're good. Okay. So then she kind of went into like influencers versus network marketers. And I put this, like I said, I put this together so that way, like literally you could come back and watch this and, you know, take your own notes. But inviting your audience into the hard, and she was saying like, it doesn't necessarily have to be while you're going through the hard, but inviting them into that after. and letting them see that we are real people. And I read that somebody said this, and it said, putting a goal down or saying a goal, writing a goal down, but not declaring it. And it's like, if you don't announce it, then if you don't meet it, like it didn't happen. And I'm so guilty of that. Like, I literally will not write, I won't write things down because I'm like, well, I didn't write it down. So if I didn't make it, it didn't happen. So I thought that was good. A good little thing. Having lower attachments to the outcome and higher belief in all areas. So like really just taking yourself out of it for sure. We can't control their timing, but we can control ours. And that goes back to like the storefront being open. And then she went into like messaging people, and she put out this rapport, reason, compliment, and question. And it was really cool how what they all meant. So let me find where I wrote this down. So rapport was like, here's the example of it. So again, rapport, reason, compliment, question. So like, here's the exactly how it went. I hope you're having a great week. Thank you for liking my recent post about my Isagenix journey. I'm actually looking for 3 to 4 motivated people that value their health and want to make some extra money that can long-term free up more time in their life. It seems like you already are in the space through your health and coaching blog. So that's kind of just complimenting them. Does this sound like something you'd be open to learning more about and potentially collaborate on? And then, so that's kind of like the 4 areas when she types a message, like she touches on is rapport, reason, compliment, and question. Like, always ending with a question, which we've heard that a bunch of times. And then just more, if you're unsure what to say, ask a question. And so it's just some really good questions on there. And then kind of just how to transition your story into like, okay, you asked a question, what's the response? And then just kind of, having that transitional piece is totally where people can get stuck. It's like, okay, now how do I go into, how I can help you? And so those are some good scripts for that. And then this, I didn't even know what it said, because I can't read it, but if you zoom in on it, and when I post this, I'm going to put this particular slide in the comments, so that way you can save it, because if you do zoom in, like, you can read it. But just more of that same format. I forget this lady's name. She presented several.
Carla Italiano.
Yeah, was she in Fayetteville with you?
She's gone to a lot of retreat or events down in the Southeast. So she lives in Shanna, so they've collaborated with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you've met her on our 9-day Zooms, but I bet we can get those from her if you want them.
Well, like I said, you can read these. You just have to zoom in on. But yes, because they were all on one page. I was like, I can't even see that. I'm just gonna take a picture and zoom. And then a really great follow-up message, and she was saying hi, as I promised, I'm circling back to you about the video. What did you like most? Can you talk today? And she's like, I literally, when I say I'm going to follow up with somebody, she sets a reminder in her phone and says, follow up with, so-and-so at this time. And it goes off and you follow up. So I thought that was really, really helpful. And then I'm going to let somebody else, when they have a share. I videoed this whole segment of Emily on closing. It was 35 minutes. So I'm going to I already put it into a YouTube video. So I'm going to drop that as well with the team call. And that way you guys can watch that segment, but because it was really, really good. And, we've all heard this, you've got to let the tools be the message. Your team cannot duplicate if you are talking the whole time. Like, we have so many tools now. If you do not have your website set up in iSamovie, like, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, because it literally, you send them that link and it goes right, they have everything right there in front of them. And then she was saying this, like, so everybody she talks to, everybody, and we can do it on Open the Box Zooms, when we do that. And she says, and even if she knows, like, I can't remember if you're here for the health side or if you're interested in building a residual income for more freedom for yourself. And she said always, 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 probably 15 times, like, always ask this question, because how awesome is that? Like, even if you know that they're here for the products, like, you still ask them, because then the light bulb's going off, like, oh, well, I'm here for both. And then something else she said too is, everyone I work with gets their products paid for. Is this something you're interested in as well? So just like saying the little nugget, like, everyone I work with gets their products paid for, I thought that was genius too. And so then they went into celebration. So this is some trainers. It's not everybody, but it's the trainers that they have lined up right now. And I know in our message threads, Amanda dropped this, but it ends tonight, tonight. You can get your event ticket for $149. So if you haven't done that yet, it's $50 off now. So that's cool. Then, and I wrote this down too, because I thought it was awesome. A lot of people don't want to be great in this world. Like, they literally don't. But we need to do this for the greater good of the world, because we're different and we're, we like growth. Most people just want to watch TV. But the law of sacrifice, you have to sacrifice to accomplish your dreams. And she said, you've got to give up to go up. And that's so true. It's a small, small sacrifice. And I say this to myself too, for sure. A small sacrifice for long-term reward, for sure. And don't be stingy with us. So that was some of my shares that I have. But who would love to share something that a takeaway? I touched on a lot, but people interpret things differently. So Steph, go ahead, girl.
I'll go first. Okay. I'm like you. I'm working on my, yeah. So I think it's great. We have all these tools, and you did a great job, Lindsay.
Thank you.
It gives me the courage to step up too. But just, speaking of Emily Vavra, she literally said that her number one income producing activity was getting to events and getting her people to events. And I really, I knew that, but that really hit me, because it's we can come back and we can share all these takeaways and there's all these little nuggets, but it does not do the justice. You need to be in that room. And when people are I don't need to go, I don't need to learn that. And it's not yes, you do. You do, because you need to be around that fire. You need to be around that passion. You need to be around people. I don't need the hype. You do need the hype. You do, because we all we're doing and we're going and we're grinding, and we're mastering the mundane, and we have our community, but going there and seeing that live and feeling that energy and just hearing these people talk about, and I made a post about this. It's they all say, it's yes, you have to be committed to learning the skills, but this is about putting your head down and going. It's just, and this is kind of the mindset that I've taken with it. It's we all have growth. And for me, when I get stuck, or I get quote unquote stuck, I'm I just haven't learned that skill yet. And I just need to keep, and it's you go to these events and you're constantly taking nuggets, but you're taking the energy, and so that for me was something really powerful. And then, this idea of we go to work to make it hard. You know, it's like, and I don't remember who talked about that, who, maybe it was the first presenter, but it's like, don't complicate things. It was like, talk to people, you know, invite them to take a look, get them in front of a presentation, follow up with them, and enroll them. And you just do that over and over. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think just the why, when you spoke about that, you know, getting quiet, I don't get quiet enough, you know, and that is really something. Like if anybody on this call is feeling like they don't know the next direction, or, you know, it's like getting quiet and figuring out your why, because that's got to pull you. And I know a lot of people on this call are going to say the same thing. It's like when you're tired, when you're exhausted, when you're frustrated, when you've hit the brick wall, when you want to quit, when you want to start over, like, because we all go through it. It's like, you have got to know what that is, because that's the only thing that's going to pull you. So I'm grateful that I went, because I will be honest, guys, if you're like me, if you were uncomfortable, my first event, Casey had to drag me. Well, she had to force me and drag me to go, kicking and screaming. And every event gets easier, but I would be lying if I didn't say it's still a little out of my comfort zone. But like you were saying, you've got to take, if you want to grow in this business, you just got to take a step into that box that makes you uncomfortable, because that's the only way, you know, you're going to keep growing. So that's my challenge. If you're on this call, even if you're new, that's another thing. There were so many associates at that event, and she was like, you don't need to be a consultant to come to this. Like, you invite everybody, like invite your associates. So if you guys are new, like I have a new person on, like Marie, if she's still on, Ron enrolled her, like come to Nashville. Like, you don't have to know anything. Just come and experience it. It will change everything.
Yeah.
So it was like a longer 2 cents than I probably needed to share. So.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect, girl. Yes, Casey's always been so good at building to the next event, getting our asses in a chair. And she literally had to work really, really hard to get Steph's ass in that chair that first event.
It was the weekend before she was getting married.
Trip.
And she's a type A control on things sometimes, so we had to work it.
So
I used guilt trip. I'm guilty. I guilt tripped her.
you said. Okay, who else? Thanks, Steph. That was perfect. That was awesome.
I can share.
Go, girl.
So I just thought, Lindsay, you did a great job summing it all up. It was so good. You hit like exactly like everything that was said, pretty much. I'm like, that was important. And it was so good, that event. I remember telling Melina like a couple months ago, I was like, I don't need to go to Vegas. We don't need to go. Like, we just went to NYKO. And I'm like, coming back from that, I'm like, why weren't we going to go? You know, we were just making excuses. So if you have not been to an event yet, you need to get there, because there is no reason you can't go. So, but my takeaways, I loved how, I don't know who said this, or maybe Trudy Maples. I might have just thrown a name out there, but they draw out you share, they share on a call. So like, have your prospect grab a pen and paper and walk through you share, they share, so that they're practicing drawing it themselves. So then when they start the business and have to draw it out, they already have practiced. And I loved that. And I tried that today already. And I felt like that was really helpful and better than me just sending them a video that they didn't really understand. So it was like, I liked that a lot. And then 2, obviously, if you want to be successful, you've got to be obsessed. And I think Emily said that, like, you have to be obsessed and you have to be focused to get where you want to be. And so asking yourself too, if my team did what I did today, how would my organization look? And I think that's really important to reflect on, because like reflecting on that question, I was like, oh, that's why my business is not growing well. I want it to grow. And that's, you know, that's where I need to grow, and where I need to go is helping my team and doing it first, and leaders go first. So also, what else did she talk about that I really liked? So she also talked about the new associate interview in your back office. So I think that's a great way to, you can download it from your back office. I think it's under resources. I'm not exactly sure. But you can, you know, interview your people and see if it's someone you want to work with, because obviously, like, you need to be picky about the people that you're bringing into your organization. And I know, like, a lot of the times we're like, okay, well, let's get enrollments. And I know I'm like that sometimes, but for the people that you want to run with, they need to match your energy, like Lindsay was talking about. And so they need to be, you know, people that align with your values and align with what you want in your organization. So that is a great way to kind of just get down to their why and understand them more too. And I think I had one more thing, but I lost it. I'm like looking through my notes right now. I can't find it. Like, there was so much good stuff. It was just so good.
Okay.
Oh, Laura Stevens talked about social media, and she just talked about building to attract the people, like being intentional about your posts for sure, and building to attract the people that you want in your organization. Like, come up with 5 to 10 characteristics that would make your ideal associate, and make your posts to those people, to get those people and think of those people, so that you're building to attract them. Because a lot of the times, we were talking too about this when we were reflecting, we just post about products and we post about free membership and free shipping. That's awesome, but not integrating that business. It's like coming out of left field when we hit them with the business after they've been just understanding the products. So I think that's important too, is posting that and sharing that business side of Isagenix too. So we all know that wealth creation is our best solution. So
Yeah.
definitely we want to share that. I think that's all I have. I'll let somebody else share.
Those were good, Amanda. Thank you. Who else got something? Kim, see you unmuting yourself there, girl.
So I kind of did my notes whenever there was just an awesome phrase, and there was so many awesome just like one-liners, I feel like. And I was like, oh my gosh, mini light bulb, need to write that down. So I'm just gonna go over a few that I thought were really great. This was specifically to people that are kind of starting out. A lot of times people, their why is so big and so grand. And it's important to remember, like, your why can always evolve. You can have little mini, whys, and then once you hit that one, evolve it, develop it, make a bigger one. I thought that was good and important for, like, newer people to understand, and it's not so scary. And then people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. That's really important to remember. You got to be the bold one. It's an insult to our creator when you play small. I thought that was really impacting. And then we have every tool in our toolkit that we need to be successful, and as long as you have the vision, sky is the limit. And then this is for people that are like watching you, this comment, everyone is in their own shit, scared to reach out. So this was like specifically about like reach outs, with people. Like you may be scared to reach out to people, but you got to make that list of people that you think could use this, or don't have a way out. You gotta think that list out. You gotta write it down, and you gotta reach out to them. Because you might be the person that they need to hear from. There was someone, I forget who, but they had their list, and they reached out to someone that has been thinking about reaching out to her, and they haven't been in touch for years. And she's like, "Oh my God, I had a dream about you." So, and now she's growing in her business. So, I mean, imagine if she didn't reach out. And then I thought this was really cool. Sydney shared this. She always leads with the business, so they know. It's never the products. And if they're not interested, tell them about the products then, kind of thing. So that's her approach. And that's where I feel like I need to switch more to. I've been focusing on the products, I definitely need to make that switch. This is another big phrase. You got to believe that you're a freight train of impact. I think you said that, Lindsay, but and I wrote the whole quote down. I thought it was pretty cool. I am a freight train of impact, excuse me, because I'm moving. Meet me at the next stop or the next, but I'm moving. So you just got to keep going.
Nice.
I see you, Keith. Be the dreamer, believer, achiever, and impact entrepreneur you were meant to be. I thought that was great. Trudy said that one. And then when having conversations with people on a call, when in doubt, ask a question. Don't talk yourself out of it. you gotta be intentional and make sure you're not over talking. Amazing things happen when you decide. Kathy shared this. She said, share with ease and elegance so we can continue to change lives. Oh, this was said multiple times. Sell the thing that sells the thing. It was said like 4 times in a row. Like, and then she's like, "You got that, right?" You see what I'm saying? I forget. I wish I wrote who said what, but oh, and then I thought this was really good. A confused mind does nothing. So if you're not explaining to any prospects you're talking about what exactly you're talking about, they're just going to be confused and they're not going to do anything. So you got to be more specific. You got to spell it out. So yeah, and then I'll just share this one more. If people are like, the common thing is like too much money or whatever, and you're talking about the individual packs, that part of the conversation, I thought this was a good one-liner to kind of emphasize that this is the bulk that they're going to be spending on food for this month. She says, Isagenix is the base of my nutrition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, and I thought this was really great. Maybe you guys can tell me which person said this, but I think it was Emily, actually. But just keep this in mind, like, 1 extra cycle a week equals $2,813 a year. That's a pay raise. If you push yourself that little bit more each week, I mean, that's a nice pay raise. So and she's like, I'm a big tracker. Like, every Sunday I'm looking at my cycles, do that extra push. So you got to go with that energy into it. But I thought those are like the awesome nuggets.
Yeah.
The million good nuggets.
So this was your first like Isagenix event, Kim?
Core 4, yeah.
Woohoo! Because you've been in it you were at the retreat this summer, or was it this past summer?
Yeah. I've been sharing in August, so it'll be 2 years.
So what did you think, like, as far, like, for new people, like?
Oh, you gotta be there. Anyone can learn from this, because there was like stuff for like from basics all the way up, and it was really great perspective. And honestly, just like seeing these awesome badass sharers up there, like just hearing their stories, and it makes it more real that you can get there too. And they're beautiful and amazing. They're just really passionate, and I feel like you get a better feel of it all in person, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Thanks, girl.
Yeah.
Melena, do you want to say something?
Yep, I can go.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey guys. So much good stuff has been shared. Like, oh my gosh, but I need to talk about the law of sacrifice for just a second. So I'm sitting in my parents' office because our internet went out. Glenn was digging in the backyard and he hit our internet wire. I ran over to my parents' house next door. I'm like, I have got to be on this call, and so much drama, but I'm here. But so my message with that is that my biggest takeaway from ICU is that it starts with you, period, the end. Like, what we do is always about the other people. Like, the products is always about somebody else. Somebody getting started is always about them. But when it comes to showing up for this business, it is all about you. And everybody on this call, you guys are total rock stars for just showing up, because, so oftentimes we get in our head, we're like, oh, well, so-and-so's not doing this, or so-and-so's not doing this, or so-and-so's not doing this. But you are the only person that is going to change your life. And ultimately, you can't control anybody else, and so that was just, that it was huge. That hit me super, super hard. But I'm just going to go really quick because I know it's getting late. But, the why was so big, you guys. And the fact that, Emily did an amazing segment where she shared all these different whys. And it was really nice to see that, because no matter what your why is justified because it's yours, and so, like Stephanie said, get quiet and figure out your why. And it's really easy when you don't get quiet to kind of pick up other people's whys. And if you're using somebody else's why, use somebody else's belief all day long. But if you're using somebody else's why, it's not going to sustain you. You got to get so quiet and get to the heart of the matter with yourself and figure that out. I loved this. And I know a lot of people on this call are going to love it too. Kathy Coover, when she did a panel, this panel was amazing. I'm going to share some things from the panel. She was like, she asked them, you know, what would you say if someone says this is a pyramid scheme? Because people get that. And she was like, do you guys want to know what a pyramid scheme is? And I feel like, you know, even though we get this all the time, at the end of the day, a pyramid is when a product is not being bought or sold, you know? And so that's like the definition of it. And you guys, that is not Isagenix at all, you know? And Emily was like, you know, if it wasn't a pyramid, I wouldn't be involved. Please explain to me what you mean and what do you do for a living? And I just love that, you know, just to kind of, you know, it was all questions, you know, because I know that trips up a lot of people. The fact that I've gone through my whole list, there's no more people. Guys, only 600,000 people have joined Isagenix, and there's 7 billion people in the world. You know, that was huge too. And so, when talking to somebody else who is also a network marketer, this is big because we have conversations with everybody, you know, and I feel like we have a tendency, you know, if somebody's doing Unique or somebody's doing another, you know, Plexus or something like that. Trudy Maples, we are a legacy company, you guys. You can will the spot to your kids. We are paid infinitely deep. There's no holdover volume. There's 3 things. Lindsay, there was one more that I know you had written down.
Re-entry position.
Yes, a re-entry position. That was
on top
huge.
of yourself.
Yes.
Below.
Yes. Get a goal, you guys, and attach it to a date and run. So wherever you're at right now, be aware, what's your next goal? What's your next goal? Ours is 3-star. Get the sticky notes all over your house. Commit to 5 years. That was a big takeaway too.
Mm-hmm.
You need to commit to 5 years and no twinkle toeing around. Your commitment starts when you say, I'm in. If not this, then what? Like, if we're not going to do this, what are you going to do? Like, if this is not going to set you financially free, it's not going to be anything. You know, it's, if not this, then what? And Emily was like, you know, and she was like, I can't wait until the day that you can say, look who I just became because I didn't give up. I just loved that. And then she goes into talking about, you know, the law of sacrifice. And I'm just like, you know, and I think about all the things that, every time that you give up for your freedom, you know, and the things that I give up, you know, and it's so worth it. It is so incredibly worth it with the lives that we change. And it's just so awesome. And yeah, I mean, I think that's the classic 3 of mediocrity. I don't have enough time. I don't have money, and I'm too busy. And being loud and proud about that, you know, being loud and proud about saying that to people, mm-hmm. and knowing that you might tick somebody off, but you are probably going to change somebody's life.
Yeah.
And just, you know, putting people in their place gracefully because you love them, not because you want to hurt their feelings. So it was just such an awesome event, you guys. And, you know, my biggest takeaway, you know, was obviously it starts with you, and you have to get to an event. If you are on here and you have not gotten to a Core 4 event, you have to go. And I've committed to all 4 this year, which I'm super proud of. And, you know, but that's the thing. It starts with me, and I have no control over anybody else when it comes to my business. So I'm just going to keep chugging along, being a freight train of impact. That's what I got.
So awesome. Yeah. Emily was crying at the end, and I think we all were crying because she was crying, because I've never seen her cry before. But I mean, she just was like, she was so emotional because she's like, you know, we have a gift and we've got to go out and serve, because all of us here on this call, and anybody who's going to listen to this call, you're here for a reason. You're not just here just because, well, maybe you're here if it starts fun at the beginning, but we are all here for a reason. And, you know, I just really, there's the team. So being in as long as I have, and, you know, like seeing the evolution of Casey and Have It All, and, you know, all of it, like there are so many of us here that have done work, and we can help you. Like, if you're having struggles and you're having wall kicking moments, like, reach out to somebody, because there's so much, we literally shift in the shit, and that's how it happens. And you've got to, that's the greatest thing about Isagenix is the community. And, like, there's a lot of us who've gone first and have done the work. And, like, we would love nothing more than to share the things that we have learned to maybe just shorten that gap or get you out of that funk or anything like that. Like, that's why we're here. And I just really, really encourage you, like, like this health ambassador, like, step up and do it. And literally, like, like, we are what we create. We are what we think about. Like, go outside for 10 minutes and just, like, I'm going to be a badass. I'm going to deliver. Like, just tell yourself exactly what you're going to do. And some of these girls have seen me speak a lot, and I've just never felt so comfortable, but I did the work. I went outside. I knew, things, and I put my feet in the ground. I got quiet and I meditated, and it literally took 15 minutes. I started at like 7:40, and I was like, I got 15 minutes before I need to turn this on. I'm going to go get quiet, and I'm going to tell myself exactly what I'm going to do and how I need to deliver it to these people and what they're going to receive. And I'm going to show it for them, and I'm going to show it for myself. And that's what I did. And so I just really, really encourage you, because we all have value to bring to this team, massive amount of value. And just really encourage you to step up and do these calls. Don't be scared of these calls. You don't have to talk for 45 minutes. We can, when Danny did it last week, we collaborated and talked about, what, I don't even remember what we got into, but that was helpful too. We all talked about certain things. So anyways, I just really encourage you guys to do that if you haven't signed up yet, and let us help you, so that's what we're here for. So, all right, I think it's, looky there, it's 8:54, well, 9:54 for y'all. So, we didn't even do celebrations. Huh. Anybody have anybody celebrate? Forgot that part, I just got someone to talking. Uh-oh.
Well, Kim, but you kind of said that. Kim going to her first event.
Yeah.
That's always a celebration. And we had Marie on this call, but I think she got kicked off. She's a new gal. So that's important. First time on the call.
Yeah.
Back.
I want to celebrate and then of course our fearless leaders up in Michigan, Stephanie, Melina, Jordan. We're putting on this like running of events, and y'all's teams and organizers said that's exciting just to step up and host events, and we'll be promoting events at events, because that really is the thing. And so yeah.
I want to celebrate Santos. They're not on the call, but Santos and Beth Ann. Santos, Fotis, Beth Ann Brownlee, Tammy Summertime. They all went to their very first events, ICU, which is awesome. I have to give a huge shout out again to Amanda Bice. Guys, our entire team wouldn't have been at ICU if it wouldn't have been her. She texted me and was like, hey, are we going? And I was like, yes. We're going. Like, duh. Like, I was like, geez. And now a bunch of us are going to UIA, because we're like, what are we doing? Like, get your poop in a group and go to events. Like, that's it. That's what you do. And I wanted to give a shout out to and they're not on anymore, but Elena and Stacey Duncan. They were on here. That's their first call. And those ladies, I don't know, is Tori on here? Tori was on here. I don't know if she wants to do this.
Oh yeah, I see her. She's hidden, but she's here.
Tori, do you want to, I don't want to call her out. I'll keep going. If she hops in, that's great. But so Elena and Stacy, they hit manager, 5-cycle bonus, and 10 enrollments all in 1 week. It was awesome. So that was awesome. It was such a huge week. And I know they probably won't, I don't know if they're going to see the recording, but they killed it. They're killing it. It's just awesome. So a lot of goodness and just an amazing group of people that went to ICU. I love all of you guys so much. So
fun.
We have 2 hours, right? If you do not have a celebration ticket, you have 2 hours to get on and put in that code and get that ticket. Like it is the highest paid skill set in network marketing, period, end of story. And we can never expect others to do what we are not willing to do, right? And so if you're not at events, your team won't be at events. So commit to yourself and get to that event. Commit to bringing somebody. Get 2 tickets, right? That would be $100 off. They're $199 right now for that $149. So just do yourself that favor and go on and get that ticket and show up for yourself, show up for your dreams, and show up for who you're going to impact.
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure. Hi, Joey. Yes.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was a slide that was posted in one of the groups, and I think it was about if you hosted a healthy happy hour or sip and sample. Did I read that right? That if you did it for May or June, that while supplies last, you get 2 free celebration tickets. Is that right?
You're right.
And then $50 for product and 5 free enrollment codes.
Yes.
That is
freaking
crazy.
I know.
So you basically just go on to the Eventbrite and sign up there, and then go on to the site and then basically register it.
Yeah. It's all on isagenixare.com. And it'll take you right to Eventbrite, and you register your event. And
then after you register, once you registered, has anyone done that where they know how it goes? They go about getting you the enrollment codes and the $50. Is that all prior? Does someone contact you for that, or does it just automatically show up?
I haven't. Tori, Amanda Bice, and I all did it sitting there. I didn't check. I haven't looked any further to see about the tickets. Amanda, are you still on here? Bice, are you still on here? Did you look at anything?
Oh yeah, sorry. I just dropped it in the chat, but I have not seen them appear yet.
Okay.
Like enrollment codes or anything. I'm assuming maybe in June, once they have all the events like listed. I don't know. I was gonna put it in Isagenix Business and see
how that all works.
How that worked.
Yeah, I would just like to be, try to figure out how that's all working, because I'm definitely getting something on the book, so I can be in the mix for that.
Right.
Yeah.
2 tickets for celebration. That's huge.
That's $300.
Right. That's why we were like ran to the pool and did it.
And you're building your business.
Exactly.
What you should be doing anyway.
Right.
Awesome.
All right. Anybody?
Awesome,
I got one more celebration. I'm just going to be real quick. It's becoming repetitious, but because she's rocking it, Jackie Jewell, 2 more enrollments last week, and so congratulations to her. She's got it. She's doing the damn thing and just being consistent. And she made the comment yesterday, like, she's just working on her own time, like she's hitting bonuses from and enroll people and get double PIVs from her boat while she's relaxing, because she's being intentional and just living the lifestyle and just doing it, So I mean, I just really see her catching the vision, and she's growing and she's doing it, and it just goes to show that we all do this at our own pace. You've got to be ready, but when you're ready and you just know, So congratulations to Jackie.
Yes, awesome. Kim, were you unmuted? Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to celebrate you, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Great job, and I've been watching you, and I think you're pretty cool. So I see Stephanie in your greatness, girl. So
thank you. Oh, that means a lot. You're so awesome. It's such a joy to meet this weekend, for sure.
Yeah, it was good to get to know you too a little bit more.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up. So everybody have a great week and go rock it.
Good job, Lindsay. You rock star.
Girl. Melina, get your internet back up, girl.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to do. I'm really living at my parents' house.
I was like, who's that dog that's eating your face? Like
My parents' dog. Oh. All right. Love you guys.
All right.
Good job, Lindsay.
Bye.